Today we got ourselves a brand new beta for Minecraft Bedrock, which is 1.16.230.50. Now to be honest, I have no idea what's going on with all the different numbers, because there's way too many 1.16 betas. Come on Mojang, hurry up and give us 1.17 betas. Please, I'm getting annoyed at 1.16 already. Well, today we're going to be talking about all the new features that we have within this new beta. Which, matter of fact, there's a lot of bug fixes, but there's also a new block, which is the Glow Lichen. Now for the Glow Lichen, this is a special block that you can find way down in the new Minecraft cave systems. And whenever you find this will be lighting up the areas as well, which is pretty cool. And now I've also discovered that if you go in and pick it up really quickly, you can go in and place it on all the different sides. So it doesn't matter which side that you place it on the block, you can place it on any of the sides, which is pretty cool. And you can also use bone meal to go ahead and make it spread to other nearby blocks, which is pretty cool stuff. And that's and if you really wanted to, whenever you go and pick them up, you can go ahead and compost them. And you know what? That's basically it for that block. Now next up, we have resolved some changes if you're on Android. So if you're playing on Android, this only refers to you. If you're playing on Android, Oreo, and newer, then you'll be able to have mouse and keyboard. Certain Android devices no longer fail to perform multilingual input. Crosshair placement is no longer offset on certain Android devices. The game will no longer fail to properly shut down on certain Android devices. To fix the resolution issues on certain Android devices. Fix networking issues on certain Android devices. And going underwater on certain Android devices no longer makes the screen go pitch black. And now this next one, this is the big one, because it's involving structure blocks. Now for a long time, the Windows 10 players, they've had the ability to export the structures via files. So if you go ahead and place down a structure block, and you were to go and, like, let's say you want to save yourself a structure, I'm just going to go ahead and name this whatever I want. We have installed the export button. And once you do that, you can export it somewhere on your PC, which is very good for add-on makers, and I love this feature quite a bit. But the players on Android, they never had this ability until now. Next up, we have some general fixes. Powder snow blocks no longer drop when they're destroyed by explosions. Fixed an issue where smelting behavior for several fuel sources was broken. First person eating animation is now centered in the frame. First person main and blocking animation now plays properly. First person main and offhand shields are now symmetrical. Fixed an issue where patterns in the loom with different resolutions than vanilla assets were not displayed correctly. Then we have crafting waxed weathered cut copper slabs, and the stone cutter now gives you 2 slabs instead of 1. And now leads can also now finally correctly attach to goats, which is really good. So if you were to find one of the mountains and you want to bring a goat back to your house, then you know what, the leads, they're going to look a lot better than they did before. And I've also noticed that there are a few glitches here and there within the beta. Like if you look over there, it looks like there's grass inside of the river. But however, it's actually being rendered above the water when it's supposed to be rendered below the water. Azalea and flowering azalea leaves, they now correctly drop when you use shears on them. Moss blocks can now correctly be fertilized while using a dispenser. Now, I did actually try this, I just could not get this to work. Hanging roots can now be composted. The small drip leaf will now drop as an item when it is sheared. Placing a big drip leaf on another big drip leaf increases its height by 1. If I place another one right there, then it goes up by 1. Using a shovel on rooted dirt creates a grass path block. That makes no sense. So I'm gonna explain. If I come inside of here, I grab rooted dirt. And then I come inside of here and I grab a shovel. If I go ahead and place it down and then I interact, look at that. It gives us a grass path block. But question is, where does the grass come from? Next up, bees will now consider flowering azaleas and flowering azalea leaves as flowers. So if you look behind me, I have all these different beehives, and I have the bees inside the beehives at the moment. But whenever a bee goes around one of these flowering azaleas, they will now get pollinated, and then they're going to come back over to the beehives, and then they're going to give you some honeycomb to return. So as you can see, they're getting attracted to these different azaleas, and they're very, very happy. They're very, very chill. And look at that, he went right into his home, and another two is going into their home. Another one went into their home. So you can tell that's working, which is really good. So if you're under the ground and you don't want any flowers, then you can just use Flanger's Alias, which is a really good alternative. And there you go, that is it for everything that we have in this week's beta of 1.16.230.50. And as always, the changelog will be supplied in the description so you can read all about this week's Minecraft beta. But I do want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments of what you think of everything. If you enjoyed this beta video, then please leave a like on it and subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos in the future. And for now, I hope you have a logical day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!